Alright, get everything set up here. Get this like this. Get you guys pulled up right here like that. And we'll go ahead and drag this over here like that. And I think we are ready to go. But what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back with another video from Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur. Not a very exciting video from my point of view. As you could probably see in the title, I mentioned why sticking to your plan is ever so important when it comes to no matter what kind of form of trading or investing strategy you may have, just your perspective in general. Mine is obviously day trading, swing trading at the most. No long-term investing or anything whatsoever, but this applies to just any form of investing or day trading. Just really just identifying a few stocks, like I said, 2 to 4 max, especially when you're new. When you're new, I would say like 2 at the most, but you can push it to 4. I push it to 4 almost every single day that I'm day trading. But when I say sticking to your plan, it's identifying resistances, supports, be it looking at your VWAP. We'll talk about the VWAP here possibly for a minute. I'm going to try to keep this live stream a lot shorter than the past few ones, obviously. When I'm doing day trading live starting next week, there'll be longer videos, potentially a couple hours long. I'm just going to pretty much stay on as long as I'm day trading. But as for like these live streams where it's like post-market hours and whatnot, just in the evening, I'm going to try to keep them at least under 20 minutes. From now on, I know that's kind of hard, especially for me. I can just get off on so many subjects just because, I mean, this is my passion at the end of the day, and I'm glad I finally found my passion. But, I mean, it's just when it takes an hour out of my day, I mean, there's so much that I have to do, especially like in the evening, just getting ready for the next day, be it with trading or anything really. I mean, I just want to kind of just narrow out all the background noise, I guess, so to speak, and just keep on track, I guess, so to speak. But point being, I'm not going to waste too much time with that. I'm just saying, don't expect me to be on here for like an hour or anything tonight. I'm going to try to keep it to at least around 20 minutes or less. 10 to 20 minutes is the goal. But anyways, right to the whole point of the video with just obviously my update. How did I do today? I'll tell you guys straight up, I did absolutely horrible today. I got murdered, butt raped, whatever you want to say. I mean, I just got hammered, mostly because why? I did not stick to my plan. Honestly, I slightly forgot my plan. I went over my plan literally live last night with you guys, with TVIX, with, what was it, Drip, Gush. I'll go ahead and get to Drip and Gush because those were the ones that like I was really focusing on the most, as well as TVIX. And TVIX is where I really got hit hard. In the long run, it'll actually pay off. Of course, you only lose if you sell low. However, how's it going, JWYMC? But yeah, so pretty much we'll start off just with like Drip and Gush because that was the ones that I was originally really focusing on, and that's where I kind of messed up, was where I got stuck on TVIX. That kind of just threw me off from there for the rest of the day. We identified roughly, it's perfect timing for something like that to pull up. I don't care, and yes, my device is protected, just not by you, McAfee. Where is it? We're on the 5-day. Let's go just to the 1 day. So we identified that, is this right? Yeah, okay. So I brought it up last night. What did I say? I said that I identified this as what, a potential reversal. And what happened? It jumped going into pre-market hours. It jumped big time, actually. I mean, we jumped what, roughly, what, like 5% pre-market hours, something like that. And then it kind of consolidated here. It took a little dip in the morning. I mean, what? It didn't really take a huge dip. I think it went down about 1%. Yeah, about 1.5%. Nothing huge. But it didn't really move too much. I saw it kind of go up, and I was keeping an eye on it slightly with Gush. I was like, okay, they're not really moving too much. And then if we zoom out just a little bit, you can see that it kind of just started slowly trending down all day. I've eventually got in. I got in at 13:35. I think it was right around this time. It was pretty early on in the morning, like around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. I got in right about here. I was waiting for some sort of, I think it might have been right in here actually, because it was pretty early. I was waiting for a sign of confirmation. I thought that I got it, and I did. I mean, it was going up. If we zoom in right here, I got in right here at 13:35. I was waiting for that confirmation. I thought I had my confirmation. However, it was not above the EMA at that time. That's where I might have slightly messed up. But I mean, when I was looking at my other indicators, the RSI wasn't really showing that it was overbought whatsoever. MACD was showing signs of buy as well. So, and just seeing like the overall pattern, I was like, okay, we're looking, because obviously I was watching this since right here. I watched it at 1326. I waited for about a whole percent before I got in, about 0.75%, nothing big, but I thought that I had my confirmation. And I mean, I wrote it up some. I mean, it went up, what, about 12 cents, so about a whole percentage point. Not quite a whole percentage, but about, again, 0.75%. So I kept writing it up. I saw that it was kind of having this pullback, and at first I was like, okay, just a healthy pullback. Hopefully we'll get down to the SMA and bounce. And it slightly bounced, but then it just really didn't do much, and I actually kind of stopped watching it because, like I said, I got kind of obsessed with TVIX. Go back over to TVIX, but obviously drip continued to trend down. Gus started trending up. It was just an overall bad day, like I said. But yeah, so you can tell what happened with TVIX. With TVIX, I got in. I was waiting for my confirmation again. I waited for it to break above the SMA because I thought that once it broke above the SMA, that we'd see the SMA act as a support and continue to bounce. That is where I messed up. I didn't wait for it to pull back and actually bounce off of the SMA. I just hopped in as it pushed through the SMA. Just a rookie mistake, just stupid. I should have known better, but that is where, again, I did not stick to my plan. If I stuck to my plan, I would have waited for some bounce before I invested, and I probably would have never even invested in this, obviously, because what did it do? It just continued to get rejected by the at least 1 and I think 5 day as well. It continued to get rejected by the SMA. Yeah, see, it continued to just get rejected, and then once it got rejected multiple times within a few minutes, it just, boom, had this huge sell-off all day. Or no, this was actually middle of the day by the time this one happened. Yeah, right around lunchtime, I was in it. So if we go ahead and zoom in back to the 1 day, I was bouncing back and forth between 1 day and 5 day. When I bought in, I was looking at 1 day, and I was like, okay, let me zoom in even further so you guys see what I'm talking about. See how it kind of, I was watching, I was like, okay, it got rejected. I was like, now once it breaks above the SMA, I'm going to be good, because, I mean, we're going to see like 4 out of 5 green candles. It broke above the EMA slightly. I didn't really see this peak formation with the EMA, but I saw the volume behind it. I wasn't really paying attention to MACD. I don't believe the RSI was showing it quite like this that I can remember, but I thought I had my confirmation. I got in at like 1168. We can go and look at it here in a minute on my Robinhood. I have that pulled up, but like I said, it was just a rookie mistake. I should have waited for it to bounce. I should have waited for it to not only go up, but bounce off of that SMA and continue to go up. I mean, I can't really say too much more about it other than it was just a rookie mistake. I don't know if it was because I saw just everything it was doing pre-market, and I was like, this thing's going to run again. Obviously, I expected the markets to do overall like really bad. I expected the SPY, S&P, whatever, Dow Jones, everything do bad, which they did right out of the gate, but then they corrected. I think it's all manipulated, obviously, but it corrected really quick. Obviously, we ended the day way too positive. And I'll talk about that here in a minute as well. But, I mean, it was just overall a bad day. I'll show you guys how bad of a day overall. I saw this spike here in after hours. I don't know what happened there, but it spiked up to like 998. So, I don't know if that's maybe a sign of things to come possibly tomorrow. MACD is showing somewhat possible like positive signs that it's wanting to go ahead and start swinging back up. It's just how high. That's the only thing. Let me see. I just see that you commented here. I need to actually pull this over just a little bit, like that, and then like that. I bought in on TVIX at the end of the day. You might be actually really good there, and that's the thing is, when I was just talking to a whole bunch of people, I mean, if you follow the overall market pattern, I said I was going to talk about this here in a minute. I guess I'll go ahead and do it now. When you just look at the overall pattern of like the last 5 days, or even 10, but let's just start with 5 days. If you look at just the 5 day pattern, what does generally happen? Every time the TVIX has pulled back, what has it done? It spiked up. Like we had a sell off here. And then what did it do, right? I mean, it kind of didn't do too much in aftermarket hours, similar to today. Didn't really do too much. And then what happened? Pre-market, it had a little push up. And then right as the market opened, it just gained massive volume. Boom, shoved up. And then whenever you look at SPY, I'm not saying that these are directly correlated or anything, but look what happened with SPY that day. It kind of consolidated as well, and then boom, it had a huge sell-off. I wouldn't say huge. I mean, it was pretty huge, but I think that might have been the big day, actually. No, it wasn't the biggest, but it was down 3% overall for the day. And And then if we go back, or not even go back, let's just stay here for a second. And then whenever, let's go back even further, day of consolidation. But look here, it started showing signs on, what day was this? The 27th of March. It didn't really have too much. It was kind of just consolidating. I mean, I wouldn't really call this solid consolidation or anything. I mean, it was up and then went down and came back up, but it didn't really have like a quote unquote like pattern that it was like actively trending up or trending down. But then what happened? Sell off. And then what happened with TVIX right around that time? So when we look at TVIX right around that time, what happened? It was kind of doing the same thing. Didn't really identify any kind of upward movement or downward movement. But then what happened? It bounced off that SMA and then boom, it shoved up. Again, nothing like huge or anything, but it went up what about? Actually, that was a pretty big day. It's just my chart how it looks. It doesn't look like a lot, but it is. It went up like 13 to 15% that day. So just overall, what is the pattern? As SPY goes up, TVIX tends to go down. That's because like VIX and all that. I mean, I'm still learning, of course, but pretty much what I have identified is like as the markets overall do good, VIX, TVIX, all these like VIX, ETF stocks, whatever, tend to do bad. So I expected, in all honesty, for SPY to do bad and everything today. Dow Jones, I expected all that to be red today, and like I said, it did to start out the day. That's why we kind of saw consolidation with TVIX. But then obviously we saw this huge turnaround. Dow ended up like what, 230, 231. SPY was up like, what did SPY go up, like 4? Something just stupid. I mean, not even 4, about 2.79, but it was up to like 264, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, it was up to like 264.55, and that's after hours. So I mean, it was still showing signs of trending up. The thing that I'm worried about with TVIX is that this SMA is starting to push up. It's not like, obviously you don't want to rely just on indicators or anything, because you can tell, I mean, it goes well below the indicator any point that it wants to. But it trending up is not necessarily a good thing. The SPY keeps consistently showing that it's overbought, but I mean, it just does not care. It just continues to push up. And that is why, I mean, I do think just by looking at the general pattern, every time SPY tends to spike up, it has like one day of consolidation, maybe two. Like you can see here, we didn't see too much movement overall. But then what happened? Big sell-off, went down like 4% on the day. So tomorrow is either going to be kind of a consolidation day, and that was what I was going to talk about here with my position with TVIX and DRIP. I look for tomorrow to possibly be a day of consolidation where there's not much movement. It might be slightly red. I'm talking about SPY, of course, here, which of course would mean TVIX will go up some. So I mean, yes, there's a potential for a day trade there. However, obviously I could be wrong on this. It could continue to push up, or it could sell off. If anything, I'm expecting some consolidation, or consolidate, sell off, or just straight up sell off and correct. But there's not really any huge signs that we're going to see a direct like sell off or to go down like 3 or 4% tomorrow. I think it will by the end of the week. There's just not like a huge indicator that it will necessarily be tomorrow. So what does that then? What does that mean for TVIX? I think with TVIX, I think tomorrow we're either, like I said, going to see consolidation. We might see it go above 10. I think we might see it reach even 1050. But unless if something changes drastically pre-market hours tomorrow, I don't really see TVIX moving all that much. Obviously, if you got in, like you said, 987, you got in right about, let's just say you got in, because apparently I can't hit dead on 87, but let's just say you got in 988. If it does get up to 1050, you're looking at what? 6% profit. So, I mean, good for you. I mean, I would personally cover profits there. There's no point in risking or holding TVIX. I don't like holding stocks at all in this market because you just cannot tell what's going to happen day to day. I mean, there's people that think they can, but they're generally wrong. That is why I keep saying over and over, could this happen? Yes, but will it? I mean, who's to say? If I knew, I wouldn't be as red as I was today. But what was I getting ready to say? But if it just consolidates tomorrow, no big deal, because there won't be much movement. I mean, 6% is obviously decent movement, but I mean, it's a highly volatile stock, ETF, whatever, and we're in a highly volatile bear market, essentially. As much as people want to claim that we're still in a bull market, we're obviously not. Just look at the last since January. But I mean, just to prove it, let's look at SPY. If I can go back, SPY. Let's go ahead, because some people, I mean, I don't know what it is, but some people think we're like not in a bear market. Let's just go ahead and end that argument really quick. So let's just go last 90 days. So we're gonna have to go. Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. I'm not necessarily going to be able to see it too much. because of just, let me go ahead and pull up this full screen so you guys can see it. So, this sucks. Anyways, let me just go all the way back to like 90 days ago. So 90 days ago, we were where? This is like right around the 8th, right? February 8th? Or no, this was the 21st. Is this 90 day? 90 days would be 3 months. Why the hell is it all the way back on 11? This doesn't seem right. 90 day, 5 minute, 20 day. Let's go back. Time frame. Daily. No, not daily. This. Let's just do 30 day and see how that looks. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, I mean, just look. I don't know where this 293 came from. That must have been some kind of glitch or something. I don't remember this. I wasn't invested. This was right before I actually started investing, actually. But I started investing like a day or two after that. But I mean, just look. The SMA keeps acting as a resistance for SPY. That is also why, I mean, just looking overall, I mean, this is why I think SPY is due for a massive pullback. I think we'll see it go below 260 by the end of the week for sure. Like I said, I just can't confirm. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not going to say that, yes, tomorrow SPY is going to have a pullback. Do I strongly believe it should? Yes, but I would not be surprised at the same time. But going back to this bear market thing really quick, like I said, the SMA keeps acting as resistance to SPY. It continues to trend down. I mean, if we look at the 180 day, you can see this pattern. You can see it was acting as a support for the longest, and then we got way too above the SMA 180 days. So what happened? We had a huge sell-off, and then ever since then, the SMA has been acting more as a resistance than a support. Is there still signs that it could push up to possibly like 268? Yes, but will it? I don't think so. I think there's a really strong, if we look right in here, there's a really strong resistance right in this area, right around 266. Every time it's tried to even attempt to get close to that, it keeps getting rejected. Obviously, this is like a 4 hour candle chart here with the 180 day, so it's kind of hard to like necessarily tell, but it just keeps getting rejected every single time. But from the bear market standpoint, what I'm trying to say here is that since now that this SMA indicator is acting as a resistance, it's going to be very hard for this market to kind of break through and just continue on to, I mean, you'd have to see right now where it says, so the SMA is at 269. We're currently right around 264. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say we're at 265-ish already. So we would need it to see, I think we need to get above this resistance right around 278 to say we're actually in a bull market still. So you're looking at the SPY needs to jump at least another 6% like consistently and not like go back down or anything. It needs to go up 6% and just keep pushing forward for any true confirmation that we're still in a bull market. I think we're just, I mean, let's see, when did all this happen? Around beginning of February, not even the end of January going into February. So I mean, it's now been 4 months almost, about 3.5, 4 months since SPY has shown any signs of like wanting to just break this pattern and just continue up. I mean, it keeps trying, but it keeps getting rejected, and it keeps just getting lower and lower and lower every single time. That overall is just why I believe that, I mean, we're in a bear market. Some people will say that we're not, but I'm being prepared. I'd rather be prepared and be wrong than be sorry at the end of the day. Let me get you pulled up here. I need to get this back here like this and like this. Thought I had it right already, but here we go. Could you break down CPHI? I also bought in at 27 cents. Yeah, I'll get to that here in just a second. But yeah, I just want to finish up TVIX for you because, like I said, I think you got a good idea of what I mean with TVIX. Overall, could it obviously reverse? Yes. Let's say that if SPY goes down 3, which, I mean, it easily could. Let's say it does go down 3. I would expect TVIX to jump. In all honesty, I would expect TVIX to jump probably 15 to 20%. Will it happen? No. But is it out of the realm of possibility? Absolutely not. So, I mean, let's say right now it's at, what is it exactly at? Is it at 996? I thought it was at like 980 something. Let's just say we're at like 988 because that is where I thought I seen it last. 989. So if we were to jump about, let's just say 15%, you're looking at 1142. I'm still at a loss, but at that point, in all honesty, I would probably just cut my losses, because at that point my losses wouldn't be that big. But I mean, I will have learned my lesson. I got, as they like to say, T-Vixed again, but better than where I'm at now. And I'll show you guys where I'm at here in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and break down that CPHI for you. Looks like it's a penny stock. And like I said, I'll tell you guys straight up, I'll admit to you, I'm like no like guru, especially when it comes to penny stocks. I've traded my fair share of penny stocks, but I'm like no master in this. I can already tell I'm not liking the whole candle structure, just simply because I cannot. What company is this? China Pharma. So it's a Chinese company. Okay. Let me look. First, I want to look at the 180 day. Ooh, this reminds me a lot of Seed. Why? I mean, obviously they're a little different, but look at Seed. It had, oh, what the hell? Well, it reminds me of Seed of late. I think this is what I'm specifically looking at with Seed. Look at this right here. You can see it had the shoot up. I mean, it was down as low as 84 cents. It shot up to as high as like $1.52 very briefly. So you're looking at how much growth there. You're looking at 78% growth. And then what was that one that you said? CPHI. If you look at it, what did it do? It jumped. I think it actually well outdid Seed. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, it saw this huge, just massive push up. God damn, 713%. But obviously, it definitely got rejected at that point. Now let's look as of recent. So I would say let's zoom in right here first. So it's SMA. Maybe I want to zoom out just a little bit. Let's just get it right here. So the SMA, once it broke above it, the SMA, the EMA. Okay, let's look at the EMA first. So the EMA had been acting kind of as a support. It had been trending down, obviously, and then once it got above the SMA on February 8th, somewhere on there, it bounced off of the SMA, which is a good sign, of course, because right in this area right here, obviously, see, it got rejected. You would have waited for confirmation right here once it breaks above the EMA. Let's say you held it for, how long would that be? I don't know the amount of days. That would be roughly 10 days. You're looking at 40%. If you rode it all the way up, 43, I would have sold off probably personally right in here for still 30% profit in 10 days. That's what we want, 3 to 4% profit a day. So that wouldn't have been bad back then. However, if we look at it now, moving forward, it has broken below the SMA indicator, which I do not necessarily like on the 180 day. I'll look at like the 20 day, 10 day, maybe even 30 day, just to see what it looks like on that SMA. But it has broken below the 180 day SMA, so that's one thing to watch. That SMA is going to act as a resistance going forward. The good thing is it looks like it has some decent volume behind it. This is a 4 hour, so it had 557,000 in 4 hours. That's not really horrible or bad or anything. And this was what day? The 3rd, so yesterday, at 8 a.m. So at market open, it had some good volume. However, it continued to just go on this downward pattern. The EMA isn't really showing signs of reversing yet. But like I said, I'll look at like the 10 day and 5 day and 1 day here in a minute. The good thing is RSI is showing oversold. MACD really isn't showing signs that it's time to buy or anything. I always, with the MACD, when I look at it, I want to see some at least signs that it's starting to point back up. I want to see my arrow up, of course, as well. But the MACD, like I said, I don't really look at the MACD too hard. It's just whenever I don't know anything about a stock and I can't really tell if it's trying to reverse or not. I just take everything into account at the end of the day. Is there any new? Do you know if there's any news with this stock going on recently? Like I said, I don't know anything really about this specific penny stock. So this is the 20 day. So the SMA is still acting as a resistance, as you can see. Every time it tried to get up, it got rejected. I mean, let's just look right in here. So it was above it for a while. It got rejected, or not rejected, but it started trending below the SMA, 20 day SMA. Spiked up to it, got above it, got rejected, had a sell-off, pullback, whatever you wish to call it. Hit it again, got rejected. Won't even get near it as of late. EMA is trending down very, very sharply. So that I don't really like too much either. And it's really just showing signs of a bear pattern more so than a bull. You could identify this as a potential bull. I don't know if some might call this a bull trap, actually. I don't know 100% though. I mean, it's a penny stock, so it's highly volatile. I mean, let's say you got in, it looks like it had a lot of movement the last 2 days. So, I mean, let's look at just the last day. So, I mean, yes, it's been super volatile. I mean, say you wanted to wait. So, on the 1 day, it's above the SMA. So, that might be potentially a good thing. Because obviously penny stocks you never want to hold like overnight. You don't want to hold them very long either. But let's say you wanted to wait originally. If you were to get in like today, obviously you can't, today's over. But say you wanted to wait for some form of confirmation, you waited for it. And let's say you got in right here around 27.9 and you wrote it up to say right around here around 29.15. Obviously it's about a penny, 1.25 cents a share, which is about 4.5% profit, and you made that profit in 14 minutes. That's the thing with these penny stocks, is that they're just so volatile. I mean, if you have the time to like literally sit there and watch this thing unfold, yes, I see a little bit of potential in a quick day trade for a quick 5, maybe even 10% profit, just depending on when exactly you want to enter in it. The good thing is that it looks like it's been trying to trend above its EMA indicator. At least it looks like it's been trying to. Like I said, I personally don't really like these kind of stocks. I mean, when I can't even see a lot of the candles, that's just kind of a red flag for me personally. But it's just because it's just not my thing. However, I mean, yes, I mean, if you can literally sit there, stomach it, tolerate it, and kind of baby it, I mean, like we just seen right there, in 15 minutes, you can grow your account 4.5%. Obviously, I would not invest all of your account, but let's say you invested $500 into this, you'd have made what off of 4.5%, $500 times 0.045. You're looking at a quick 23 bucks made almost, just depending on when you got in and when you sold. So I don't think there's any news. I was hoping for a quick day trade, but oh god. So you're holding it overnight. So the volume, let's look at the volume first. So the volume, we're on the 1 day, 1 minute now. The volume is at about 10,000 a minute going into, so that was 1,000. Man. Let me get this pulled up really quick. I want to see what people are saying. I'm going to first go to the almighty stock twits, which we know how reliable that can be. And that's the thing with penny stocks, it's, man, I mean, people are such pump and dumpers on stock twits when it comes to these penny stocks. But let me see what they're saying first, because sometimes, I mean, I've caught some good like buys off of it. So let's see, countdown, price alert down 5.5. So chart mill, I don't know anything about chart mill, so I don't know how reliable it is, but they're saying that this is currently cheaper than 99% of companies listed in the same industry, which obviously doesn't really mean absolutely anything. Someone said this is a horrible company that's struggling with sales. Did they recently have like an earnings report or some kind of conference call? I don't really see as of late. Let me look at the 20-day and see if we've had anything. No, nothing as of late. Let's look at 90-day. So we haven't had anything really the last 90 days. But yeah, I mean, overall, if you got stuck holding overnight, I wonder how many shares did you get, and like how much, like what was your buy price? Was it at least like around 27 cents? What's with the drop? No one's really responding to anybody. Everybody's just spewing a bunch of bullshit, it looks like usual on this damn app. I'm not really seeing too much. Some people are asking what's with the drop. Some are saying move it. They're trying to pump and dump it. Okay, let me see. There's a Yahoo Finance actually has an article. I found an article about Yahoo Finance. So 60 bucks. So I mean, you don't have a huge position luckily, but I mean, you could easily lose what, like 10 bucks of that overnight. I'm gonna look at this article. I'm gonna just skim this article really quick. It's from Yahoo Finance, so luckily we found something at least somewhat reliable. So it says today it announced. Oh, okay. Apparently they announced their financial results from the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017. Because of recent government, I'm not really seeing anything that looks alarming. Okay, let me see right here. Identified 6 and 5 formulas that would likely be unable to generate positive cash flow in the foreseeable future, and therefore recognize impairment loss on them accordingly. So overall, I'm reading overall about the company too really quick. It says that they make products that deal with infectious and digestive diseases. There wasn't really much. It just looks like they're not very profitable, so that could be a problem. Obviously, you want to invest in something that has decent, at least, profit, or at least is doing above expectation. But so yeah, we saw this huge sell-off. At what price did you get in exactly? Because there was obviously this massive sell-off today, early this morning, and it started to bounce. I'm assuming you got in later in the day since you got stuck into holding overnight. I appreciate the breakdown. I kind of regret going in because I have to hold, but I think I will be able to get some profit tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, when did you get in exactly? That's pretty much what I'm trying to figure out at this point, because I want to break down where I think you should be looking to exit. Obviously, unless if you have like after hours, like Robinhood Gold or something. I don't know who you use as a broker for like a brokerage company, but unless if you have Robinhood Gold, I'm assuming you're just gonna have to wait until market open tomorrow. But yeah, if you could tell me like what exactly, at least about like what entry point. Okay, I ordered at 0.26 Phil. Ooh, so you did a market buy, didn't you? I'll show you. I'll talk about that here in a minute, but I'm assuming you did a market buy, which is why you bought a whole penny higher, which with penny stocks I can make, as you can probably tell, a huge difference. So I'm assuming that was still later in the day if you got in around 27 cents. But I mean, if you got in, I mean, you can see 26 can make a huge difference. 26 to 27 is roughly 3%. So I mean, that's a 3% change just because Robinhood was Robinhood. I'm assuming you use Robinhood. Robinhood does that stuff. And yeah, I learned that same lesson, so don't feel like you're the only one by any means. I learned that lesson on the Turd BPMX, which obviously it looks like I had a really good day today, actually. But so you got in at 20, so I'm assuming around 27 flat. Right now it's at 27.21 apparently, or 27.2, somewhere in there. So I mean, if you're in flat at 27, you're at least in the green, which is good. However, when it comes to penny stocks, I mean, as for looking at your indicators and stuff, that's kind of thrown out the door, other than I love looking at the SMA and I look at the MACD the most. MACD doesn't look too promising. It's showing signs still of trending down, which looks like it did going into after hours. So, I mean, I guess you're just going to kind of have to play that one out. I would continue to watch your MACD. RSIs aren't really showing any signs of oversold or overbought by any means. So, I mean, anything could happen there. However, just because of this MACD, I look for it to possibly trend down at least early market hours. You might see something similar to what happened this morning. I don't think you'll see quite as big of a sell-off or anything, because it sounds like today was when they released this report. But I would look for some kind of possible, I mean, it looks a lot similar. I mean, look at this setup. I mean, there's a bunch of red right in here, and you're looking at something pretty similar right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see at least some kind of pullback. Apparently someone's getting ready to join the live stream. But like I said, you're probably going to see some sort of pullback. I wouldn't get discouraged. I mean, if you want, you can set a stop loss sell. I'll show you how to do that here in a minute on Robinhood. That way you can cut your losses if you wish, or like I said, if you can stomach it out. I mean, you might see it test a low of around 26 cents, which obviously at $60 that'd make you lose roughly what, maybe $5 to $10. So I mean, you're not talking like a huge loss, which is a good thing. You don't have like a huge balance within this or anything. Like you don't have a big bunch of shares. So I mean, with your position, I would probably hold for sure, even if it starts to go down. I mean, I would eventually, if it continues to show a descending pattern like it kind of does, it still shows potential bouncing around, of course. But if it shows signs, like if it were to break a low below 26 cents. I'd probably set a stop loss at 25. Since you can see the low is 25.01, I would set a stop loss probably like right at 25 cents. That way you'll go ahead and just cut your losses, move on. Like you just said, yeah, you learned your lesson about filling market orders versus limit orders. But you just learned your lesson about just, I guess, looking up specific news, because I guess apparently it sounds like so this was yesterday morning. Did anything happen with this yesterday morning? What am I on? Oh, this is the 5-day. So when the hell did this happen? Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot more sense, because I was like, when was the sell-off? Okay, yeah, my chart just had me a little confused. But so yeah, with that is when the sell-off occurred. So where is today? Okay, so today is right here. Okay, there's my today, right here. Okay, so you got in. Damn, yeah, I think I see about where you got in. If you tried to get in right in here, yeah, you would have rolled up for some huge profits, possibly. But yeah, either way, you're gonna have to hold at least till morning. But like I said, I personally would set a stop loss at 25 cents no matter what. That way you can just cut your losses and move on, because I think if it hits 25 cents, it's just going to continue to trend down. I mean, it doesn't really sound like a good company, to be honest. I mean, it's out of China, so it's not a huge surprise. But so yeah, at the minimum, I set a stop loss. I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. I'll use TVIX as my example, and you'll get to see how bad I did today. But let me get a drink here really quick. But yeah, so what I would do is set a stop loss with Robinhood, assuming you're with Robinhood. Got 3 people tuning in. Thanks for joining, everybody. So, the moment of truth, how bad did I do today? Whew, there it is. We're down over $100 today. Down 13.5, just over 13.5%. But I'm not too discouraged, because I know in the long run I'm at least gonna break even, if not make some money. Just depends on how long I'm willing to hold. I'm willing to hold throughout the rest of the week. Like I mentioned in my description, I don't know if you guys read my description, but I mentioned that this potential day trade obviously is turning into a swing trade for sure. I'm willing to hold this through Friday, just because I know that the stock market, like we mentioned, SPY, has a huge potential of swinging in the opposite direction. But anyways, to the whole point, let's say I wanted to set a stop loss. You would just go to sell, and it's pretty similar on like the app, so don't like freak out thinking it's like big difference. I mean, it's pretty similar. You just go to sell like you normally would, but then you're gonna want to go on like the phone version. I guess I can go ahead and show you on my webcam too. Let me get it pulled up really quick. But you're going to go on your phone to, so like right here you can see, oh shoot, I don't think it's going to let me do anything. Let me see. Okay, so you see like in the upper right hand corner it says order types. You're going to click that, and then you'll see this drop down box, and you're going to do stop loss order. So you'll click stop loss order, and then at that point it'll say pretty much the minimum you're willing to like get out of it. So then you would type in, like in this case I would say like 1280 or something. I would enter 1280 then, so as soon as I would hit 1280 it would sell for however many shares I was wanting to sell, and then I'd be done. Like I wouldn't really have to worry about it. And then what you can also do is say drip in this case started to shoot up, I could go into my history, cancel that order, and then set a new stop loss, which would be your quote-unquote trailing stop loss. That's a term that I can get into in a future video if you guys want, but you can set a new stop loss to kind of cover your profits. Say you can't like be glued to your phone or computer the whole day, you can set a new stop loss and say that it's up to like 1326 right here, which I bought in at 1327, so I really should have just cut my profits, but I'm holding out. I'm really thinking that we'll see drip get back up to 1370. That's my target sell point at the minimum. I'll talk about that here in a second as well. But say it went back up to 1326, you would then cancel your original like 1280 stop loss, and you could set one then at like 1320. So then you would cover profits. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, But yeah, so obviously I got into drip. I got into drip right here, I believe. It was like right around 13.27, somewhere around in here. Maybe it was like right here. It was right around here, yeah, for 13.27, and obviously wrote it down. I thought we were seeing a reversal because SPY was going down, TVIX was going up some. Obviously my drip was going up some too. I was like, finally, the market's starting to like correct. I mean, we're gonna see this market go ahead and end red for the day, which I can at least cut even, maybe even make a little bit of money and move on, learn my lesson with this market. But sure enough, didn't happen. However, like I mentioned, if you're just tuning in, we were looking at, I'll get you guys pulled back up here. We were looking at SPY overall. Hopefully you understand what I was saying about this penny stock. But shoot, wrong one. SPY. SPY, just from the recent trend, it's due for a massive pullback. I look for it to at least get below 260, maybe even down to 258 again, or support level around 256. Possibly by the end of the week, I'm expecting SPY to at least take a 3% drop. So if we see a 3% drop, maybe if I can get it here, I don't know why I can't see, but 3% drop, that would be roughly, so you can see percentage change, 3% would put us down roughly to around, yeah, right around 256 to 257. Wow. I had all these different protections on my computer. Now I got a different one, and they're all like wanting me to get them. It's like, no, I find the best cheap one out there. But anyways, I look forward to at least get below 260 by the end of the week. Will it happen tomorrow? I said a few minutes ago. It may not. We might see a consolidation day where it doesn't really do too much. It might go up to like 265, or it might come down to like 263. But we might just see this overall, just a little bit of consolidation day, and then we'll see a drop, just like the overall general pattern. As of late, you can see a little bit of consolidate. After it shot up, we saw some consolidation. Boom, sell off. Same thing right here. We saw some consolidation, then we saw the push up, and we saw a little bit of signs of consolidation right here, and then a pretty massive sell off. So I look for that to continue. I mean, this, like I said, this market is almost predictable. I actually had predicted that today was going to be a red day because, I mean, we saw this massive push up go into the end of market hours yesterday, and I was like, I look for it to just drop off, and I mean, it did early morning, pre-market hours. I mean, it was low. I mean, it was at 256. You can see at 7:45 in the morning, and obviously that was when TVIX was up, because if you look at TVIX, it pretty much goes inverse of the market. You can see that TVIX shot up. I was wanting to wait for some kind of bounce. I talked about that. I don't want to like keep reiterating this, but obviously just kept writing it down. So now I'm just to a point where I just have to keep holding. Obviously this SMA is going to act as a resistance. It's probably going to go to around like $11 is probably where the resistance will be. It'll be pretty strong right around 11 to 11.10. If it can break through 11.10, I think we'll at least get back up to 11.72, which, I mean, I would be in the profit then at that point. But most people have bought a lot right around 9.90. You even said, like I said, you bought in around 9.87. So, I mean, if we were to get back up there to around 11, let's just say even 11.70, being slightly conservative, you're looking at 18%. And that's not out of the realm of possibility for the end of the week. So, I'm not too discouraged. I mean, if I was super discouraged, I would have sold off like way back here when we saw it attempt to get back up when it got rejected by the SMA, 5-day SMA at least. But I know that it has potential to go right on back up. I mean, if we look at, what do I want to look at? The 10-day recent. If we look at the 10-day, I mean, it's been actively trending up. The SMA has been acting as support. Yes, we're below it, but we've gotten below it before. And then what did it do? It shot right back up because SPY did what? Had a pretty big sell-off. I think this was the day we went up like 20% at one point. Went this Monday? Yeah, Monday it went up like 20 to 22 some odd percent at one point. So, I mean, are we going to go up like 20% tomorrow or even Friday, or tomorrow and Friday combined? Probably not, but like I said, if we can go up 15%, I'll at least make my money back plus some. Yes, I'm not going to make as much money as I originally hoped for or anything, but that's where just sticking to your plan. I did not stick to my plan, and I mean, I'm reaping the effect of that. And same thing with drip. You can see that I am not doing so well on drip. I bought into drip at what was it, 13.25 or 13.27, something like that I said. So obviously right now it's currently right around, it's actually at 12.84 I just seen recently, but look what it's doing. It's kind of bouncing around. It's been bouncing off of the 10-day SMA. It's currently, the SMA is pretty much right at like 1283 or maybe 1285, but it's slightly below it. I look for it tomorrow. That's why I really do honestly think that the SPY is going to at least pull back roughly 1% or even 2 tomorrow. But I think by the end of the week, the SPY will be down 3, maybe even 4%. It's just how's it going to do? Is it going to kind of consolidate tomorrow and then have a massive sell-off Friday? Is it all going to happen tomorrow and then kind of consolidate Friday? I mean, I think we're going to have one day where just not much happens. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday. If I were to predict which one, I would predict tomorrow, just because we've had a lot of movement this week. I mean, obviously we've had a lot of movement the last weeks or even months now, but we tend to have these days of just general consolidation where not much really happens. We go up or down 1% or 2. I would predict that day to be tomorrow, out of tomorrow or Friday, but obviously I'm no fortune teller or anything. However, by the end of the week, if you don't know Drip and Gush, obviously follow /CL. And if we look at /CL, I'm going to end this stream pretty soon because I feel like we're coming up on half an hour. But if you look at /CL, it's approaching its resistance, its SMA, which has been acting as a resistance, as well as this right here. There's a strong resistance right around 63.50. Where's it at right now? Around 63.57. And the SMA is right around 63, what? Is this right? 63.58? I think the SMA is actually, let's go ahead and zoom in some. So yes, the SMA is at 63.84. And what did it do? It tried to push up there, got rejected. If we zoom back out, there's also pretty strong resistance overall right around where it is currently, right around 63.50 to 63.60. So that's just another reason. I mean, just all signs are pointing towards a pretty big pullback going into the end of the week. It's just, when is it going to be? Is it going to be tomorrow or Friday? I mean, could it possibly push into like next week? Yes, I just do not see that happening just based on recent trends with the stock market. Obviously, it's never 100% predictable, but you can kind of get a good idea on what's going to happen just based on how volatile this market has been. So, I mean, if it goes back down, you're looking at about a 2% drop within oil, which, if you're wondering, if you look at recent trends with that, you can look for Drip to go up roughly another 10%. I don't know if it'll quite hit 10, but between like 8 to 15%. I wouldn't really bet. If I was a betting man, I would not bet on 15%. I'd bet roughly on a safer number right around 7%. But I mean, let's say it only went up 5% from where it's currently at. If it went up 5%, I would break even plus make about a dime per share. So I would then make roughly, I don't know how much exactly, dime time. I mean, not a whole lot, like a couple bucks, but it's a lot better than where I'm at now, obviously. And I'm talking about my total profit. So I would not only bring my account back up to where it was going into the day, but I'd obviously then make some money. Not as much as I was hoping originally, obviously, but better than where it's currently at. So I mean, yes. Is this alarming? I mean, yes. I mean, this would scare most. This is what causes most people to just stop investing in the stock market. They experience a couple red days like this that are just really bad, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm horrible at this. I mean, you do nothing but lose money in the stock market. But what you have to realize is no. I mean, like I said, like I've always said, if we can average 3% a day of growth or more, obviously the end goal is 7% a day. But I mean, if we can average 3% a day, you're going to have red days, you're going to have really high. I mean, I'm down about 12%, 13% today. Obviously, that's like really, really bad. If I was really smart, I would have just set stop losses. But I have not used stop losses just because the market is so volatile. I know that this 13% could be up, could swing from -13 to +6 as soon as tomorrow or Friday. So that is why I just did not get discouraged. I was like, yes, this sucks. If anything, I should have just wrote it down and then invested, obviously, like you did, actually. Which one of you was it? JWYMC, like you said, you bought in at 987. So if I was smart like you, that's what I would have waited on. But I waited for what I thought was a confirmation. I just went totally against my plan, and I mean, I'm reaping the effects of that. If you don't stick to your plan, you are going to get bit in the ass, and I am a prime example of that. So like I said, this whole YouTube channel is about just documenting my journey. Hopefully you guys like learn from my experiences, my failures, my successes, whatever may come along the way. I'm not by any means like going to stop investing whatsoever. If anything, this motivates me more to learn from my mistakes, stick to my plans even harder. I cannot wait to go to my new shift. I mean, I know it kind of sucks going to my midnight to 8 shift, I don't actually look to be working there much longer. We're looking to move to Texas just as soon as possible, which would just be awesome, obviously. But I'm just looking so forward to being able to like trade, not having to worry about my job during the day. I can literally be live with you guys. I'm thinking about starting a Facebook group possibly in the future. I'm not looking to like start anything like Ricky's Tech Buzz Solutions. I love that group. Obviously, like I talk about them a lot, but I'm not looking to like start anything like that. But I'm talking just like a small little community. I mean, I don't have a bunch of subscribers obviously, but I'm just a small community where like we could all like just chat. Obviously we can chat live as well, but just something. I mean, I just can't wait for that. I just feel like I'll have better results being able to just do this with like no restrictions. So I mean, I'm very motivated. I'm not like by any means like just like discouraged, sad, or anything. I mean, yes, it's stressful. This is by far my biggest red day ever since I started trading, but I haven't been doing this but like 2 months. So I mean, this is like my second full month of doing this. So I mean, it's expected. You're gonna make mistakes. Now, the difference is, are you going to keep making those mistakes going forward? No, obviously. Or at least you shouldn't if you learn anything. But, let's see. Thank you for the breakdowns. Good luck. Oh, thanks a lot. But yeah, I mean, is there anything really quickly, any last ticker symbols or anything you guys want me to just break down really quickly? If not, I'll go ahead and just wrap it up. Like I said, I don't want to make these too long. We're pushing, I think, 40 minutes now. So, yeah, I don't, unless if you have any quick questions or anything, I'll probably go ahead and wrap this up really quick. But, yeah, so it doesn't look like we have any last second questions, so I guess I'll go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. But, see if we still got, god damn, we're on 50 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. We'll get there eventually. But, yeah, so like I said, this just shows you I'm human. I don't try to like pretend that I'm going to just get 100%, 5% a day every single day. Like I said, I just want the average. The end goal is to average 7% a day. You're not, I mean, anyone that tells you that they're green 100% every single day, every single trade is more than likely a liar to some degree. I mean, there's people out there that, yes, most of their trades, if not all of their trades, are pretty close to green, but for them to say that they're just like 100% green, they never close red trades whatsoever, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'll let people determine that themselves, but obviously the end goal is just to average a certain amount percent per day. So my goal for this month is 3 to 4% by the end of the month. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, you only close red if you sell red. So that's just it. Hopefully you guys did like the video. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, thank you guys for continuing to tune into these live streams. Without your all support, I would have like no reason to do this. Like I just mentioned, I mean, just a week ago, I had like no viewership on my live streams. I might have had like one person the entire time. And there wasn't really anything going on in the chat, and now I like need to keep the chat pulled up all the time because obviously Monday we had somebody get pissed off that I didn't respond to them like that. So now I'm keeping you guys pulled up all the time, and we actively have like 3 to 5 it looks like people watching, so hopefully we can just continue to grow that, and it's thanks to you guys for getting us started. So yeah, just want to thank you guys for that. I'll plan to go live possibly tomorrow. It just depends on what goes on with the market, in all honesty. I mean, if not much really happens, like I said, if we don't really see much movement, then I mean, there's no point in me going live because it'll just be more of the same. But if we see like a huge dip in the market, which would obviously mean up for me, then I mean, yeah, I'll go live. I'll tell you guys if I sold, if I continue to hold, what I plan on doing going forward. Obviously, now I'm not going to be able to trade until at least Monday, and that's if I sell tomorrow. If I wait and sell Friday, then I obviously won't be able to sell Tuesday. But I'll probably still at least have some kind of video go up tomorrow, I'm hoping. I just don't know if it's going to be a live stream or not. If it is, it's probably going to be around the same time, 8 o'clock Central Time. So plan for that if you wish. But Friday, I do for sure plan to go live, and then I'll go live again Sunday for Sunday Stock Watch, of course, as every week. But again, thank you guys really quick. Thanks again for watching the video. If you did like it, definitely make sure to smash that thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making those profits, covering your profits, achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys.